the average American spends 4 hours and 25 minutes a day on their phone. And this adds up to 65 days a year, so over 2 months purely spent on our phones. And when I first heard this statistic, it was mind-blowing to me, the sheer amount of time that most of us are wasting on our devices. And I was in that same boat. And so if you're anything like me, you're tired of this phone addiction. You're tired of the hold that your phone has on you. You want to maximize your time. You want to make the most of it. You want to pursue your goals. You want to spend your time doing what you love with the people you love. I don't know about you, but I don't want to look back on my life with the pain of regret, knowing that I left so much time and opportunity on the table. I spent 20% of my life on my phone, and what did I get back from it? All right, let's jump in with tip number 1. We're going to keep this video very short and sweet so that you can get off your phone or whatever device you're watching this on. But tip number 1 is to live life with intentional imbalance. We often talk about this notion of work-life balance, but what I'm suggesting with this tip is something a little bit different. This concept comes from the book, The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. And essentially what it's suggesting is that if we try to achieve balance in every area of our life, well, we won't be exceptional in any area of our life. We won't have exceptional relationships, exceptional health, or exceptional wealth. And so instead of trying to seek balance in every area of our life, we have to predetermine what our priorities are and then be imbalanced in the favor of those things. The reason that I'm bringing this up and starting with this point is that if we're gonna spend less time on our phone, well, now what are we gonna do with all that extra time? We wanna put it to good use. So my first suggestion to you, and what has really helped me, is to set clearly defined weekly goals. So sure, I have a long-term vision and I have long-term goals, but I break those down, I chop them down into bite-sized pieces, and I figure out this week, what are my top priorities? And so for you, that would be what I would recommend, is to figure out each week, what are your top priorities? What do you want to accomplish? And it doesn't just have to be on the productivity side of things, but how do you want to spend your time? How do you want to spend your life, basically, is what we're saying. And so this could be developing a new skill to increase your earning potential. It could be working on a new project, but also it could be simply spending more quality time with your loved ones. And the key benefits that I've found from this approach are that it provides a tremendous amount of clarity in the short term, obviously, but also it creates a sense of urgency. You have a deadline of sorts that allows you to operate with focus and know that you're maximizing your time, you're prioritizing the things that are most important to you that week. So simply put, every Sunday I write down my list of goals for the week, and my personal preference is to have them on a whiteboard. So I have a whiteboard right here behind the camera, and so when I'm working and if ever I get fuzzy or I'm unsure of what my next step is, well, I'll just turn to the side, look, what are my goals and where do I stand in relation to them? The second tip that I have for you is to consume with depth, not breadth. So this is something that I've really been putting into play this year and really the past couple months, but a couple things on this front. So both in terms of digital consumption, and then we're consuming books. These are my two main things that I'm consuming in terms of learning or entertainment, I suppose you could say. So on the digital side of things, just my personal preference, but I don't have any other social media besides YouTube. YouTube is one of the primary platforms that I, and probably you watching this, use to learn, right? To learn new things and acquire the knowledge that you're seeking. So the way that I use YouTube is to lean heavily on the watch later tool. I try my best, not perfect with it, but I try my best to avoid going on YouTube for no particular reason. But instead, I try to reserve my weekends for watching YouTube. And so if I'm going through, there are particular channels that I follow or I subscribe to, and videos that I want to watch, I'll add them to my watch later, and then I'm going to go one by one, and 9 times out of 10 it's something educational. Maybe it's a documentary, but mostly it's educational, in which case when I pull up the video, I also pull up my Google Docs and I'm taking notes on the video. So I'm trying to get the most out of the principles and knowledge being shared in the video. And for me, it really helps with my retention, and obviously I can come back to the notes to just jot down the notes, type them, write them down, whatever works best for you. But that has really been a big help for me. So in a nutshell, the main idea here is to use your device, don't let your device use you. set an intention for what you want to learn. What content are you seeking out? How is it going to improve your life? What is it going to teach you? And really going in with detail on the notes that you're capturing from that video. The second piece of this is the side of reading books. Now, this has been a game changer for me this year as I've started this, but as I'm reading a book, again, I'm focused on depth, not breadth. I'm not just trying to read for volume, read as many books as I possibly can just for the sake of doing it. Say, hey, I read 100 books this year. But as I'm going through and reading a book, I have my highlighter, I have a pen, I have post-it notes, I have page markers. So I'm going through and I'm not trying to highlight the whole book, but get the key concepts that I want to take away, that I want to really internalize and put forward into my life. So that's a bit of a side point, but nonetheless, I wanted to share it with you. It's definitely been helpful for me. As you divest time spent on your phone, would definitely encourage you to increase your reading and put that strategy into play. The third tip that I have for you is to reclaim your mornings. I think it's fair to assume that most of us sleep with our phone within arm's reach, and I did for many years. But the simple yet powerful idea that I want to share with you is to reclaim the first 10 minutes of your day. Just reclaim at least the first 10 minutes of your day, because momentum is so crucial at the start of our day. We want to have a great day, and so we want to start off by prioritizing what's most important to us. And so if we always have our phone within arm's reach, you wake up, you're a little tired, maybe a little groggy, what's the easy thing to do? Well, just jump into the rabbit hole, and now your phone has decided how you're going to start your day. So I have a few simple strategies to share with you that have really been impactful for me. Would definitely encourage you to try them out for the next week and see how they improve your life. So the first thing that you're gonna do is to get a real alarm. I've talked about this before, but setting your phone aside and getting a real alarm. Now, I personally like to always focus on what's the ideal, meaning what's my ideal lifestyle. I have a vision, or I have a clear written down list of what that actually looks like, and I'm steadily trying to baby step or make a great leap and bound toward that ideal. So my ideal, which fortunately I'm able to do most days, is to wake up without an alarm. Wake up when you're done sleeping. Wake up naturally. But I know not everyone can do that. Not everyone has the flexibility to do that. And so in steps the real alarm. Now, I would try to get something that's maybe a little more gentle versus the, you're counting sheep and then it's the blaring sound. And so you have some options here. So for example, on Amazon, they have those sunrise alarms that just steadily get brighter and brighter until you hit your alarm point, and then you're more gently woken up. But regardless of your preference, the whole goal is to get a real alarm, set your phone to the side, and reclaim at least the first 10 minutes of your day. Decide beforehand what you're going to do first thing in the morning. And so my second and final tip here is to get a small notepad and write down your list of to-dos. What's your to-do list for the day? Write that down the night before. Because if you don't have a plan for the day and you wake up and you're tired, well, the easy thing is just to grab your phone and go back to sleep or hit the snooze button. But if you have a clear plan, when you wake up, hey, I'm gonna do this, then I do this, and you have a nice sequence, things will flow a lot more smoothly. The fourth and final tip that I have for you is a very simple one. You're going to bring awareness to your habit. As we probably all know, breaking the hold that our phone has on us isn't gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take some time. But nonetheless, what we're focused on with this tip is to simply bring awareness to your habit and getting a sense of when are you most commonly using your phone. Do you use it first thing in the morning? Do you always take out your phone during your lunch break? Can you catch yourself in those moments when you just check your phone for no particular reason? But start bringing that awareness and try to catch yourself, and then just simply put your phone away. Put it in your pocket or throw it in the closet. I don't care. But simply bring awareness to your cues, your triggers. What prompts you to want to check your phone? Is it a feeling of boredom and being uncomfortable with it? If so, check out my last video, Boredom is a Modern Day Superpower. But get an understanding of this and then just steadily try to practice saying no, putting the phone away and utilizing it with greater intention. So what I aim to do is, again, have some awareness when I'm checking it unnecessarily. And when I'm using it with intention, I want to simply say, hey, I am using my phone to do this specific task. I'm going to go on Slack and message this person. Or I'm going to go on my email and look out for this particular email. And try to avoid getting sucked into the rabbit hole. So you have a specific function or task that you need to do. get that thing done, and then you're off your phone. I hope you enjoyed this video, got some value from it. So definitely put those practical takeaways into play, try all of them out, reclaim your mornings, start setting those weekly goals and living with great intention. And overall, we want to focus on using our devices and not letting them use us. So I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.